What is the 20th thing that I would do differently if I were going to college today? I would make sure that I could get my hair done near my college campus. Hi, I'm Passion Darby, and 31 years ago, almost to date, I made the decision that I was going to go to college no matter what. And I did go to college that fall. It was fall of 1993. So here I am now, 31 years later, and I have amassed a vast amount of wisdom, knowledge, and experience that I am going to be sharing with college goers today through this channel. So, what is the 20th thing that I would do differently if I were going to college today? I would definitely make sure that I could get my hair done near my college campus. So, why is this important to me? So I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, on the west side. And in Chicago, there is a very strong and ingrained beauty salon and barber shop culture. So I have been getting my hair professionally styled since I was a child. And when I say a child, I mean 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old. I've been going to professional hairstylists to have my hairstyle because, again, that was not only a part of Chicago culture, but it was very important to my mother to keep my hair as well as my sister's hair healthy. So she took a lot of pride in that and she invested a lot of money in that. In fact, one of the things that my mother used to brag about is the fact that when my sisters and I were little, we used to have our hair styled by Andre Walker, who later went on to be Oprah Winfrey's exclusive hairstylist, but he was our hairstylist before that. So I have been, by the time I went away to college, I had been accustomed to having my hair professionally styled by the great hairstylist of Chicago. So when I went to college, I had a very different experience. I honestly didn't even think about how I would maintain my hair when I went to college, when I applied to college, because I just wanted to go to college. I was desperate to go to college, and I would have done anything to go to college. So I wasn't really thinking, okay, when I get there, how am I going to maintain my beautiful hair? So when I arrived to my first college, which was Philander Smith College in Little Rock, Arkansas, I noticed that not only were the stylists different, but the hairstyles were different. So it was such a challenge to me to keep my hair styled while away in college. And I had to become creative and just come up with some different ways to handle my hair and to maintain its health and its beauty. Some of the things that I did to do that were I watched my stylist when I decided that I was going to go to college. I began watching my then stylist, his name was Lake Sean Harris, and I would watch him style my hair and watch his techniques because I knew that I would more than likely have to do my own hair for at least a couple of months before I was able to come back home on a break to have my hair styled by him again. So I watched his techniques and I mimicked those techniques when I was away at school. Another thing that I did my own hair. Consequently, after watching Lake do my hair so well and studying his techniques, I purchased the products that I needed to echo his talents and I mimicked them as best as I could. The only thing I couldn't do with my own hair was cut my own hair. But in terms of maintaining the style, I was able to do that. And I did that while I was away at school using the space in my residence hall. The other thing that I did, I waited until I went home for breaks to have my hair styled professionally. And those types of breaks were like spring break, summer break, winter break, and even Thanksgiving break. Any break that I could get away from school, I flew home or I took the bus home or I took the train home. And the first thing that I did when I arrived in Chicago was to have my hair professionally styled. Another thing that I did was I purchased all the products that I would need to maintain my hair in bulk while I was in Chicago, because I noticed that down south, while they did have some beauty supply stores, they were definitely not as robust and myriad as the beauty supply stores that were in Chicago, Illinois. So I would go to the store while I was on break and I would buy everything in bulk. And then I would bring those things back down to school with me so that would not run out while I was in school. And especially since I did not have a car on campus. Another thing that I did, I slept in a silk scarf with a silk scarf on my head so that my hair would keep its health in between professional styling. So remember, I said I couldn't cut my own hair. So it is very important that I just kept my hair healthy in between styles where I would go home and have my hair cut. And then I became so good at styling my own hair that I even began doing the hair of some of my classmates or college mates who were from up north too, because they were having the same challenges that I was. And then lastly, sometimes my mom would just feel sorry for me and she would just fly me home for a quick weekend to have my hair cut. And then she would fly me back down to school and I would be back in class on Monday with a fresh new do. So those are some ways that I maintained my hair when I was in college. But trust me when I say it was a challenge. And if I had to do it over again, I would definitely select a college that had either a beauty shop on campus or within walking vicinity of the campus with professional hairstylists so that I can maintain my hair and not have to go through everything that I had to go through to keep my hair up while in college. So, how can you avoid having to do all those things that I had to do? Let me help you get your hair together while you are in college. Number one, take a tour of your prospective campus before you go to that campus or enroll in at that college. And while you are on location, scan the immediate outskirts of the campus for barbershops, beauty salons, and braid shops, as well as beauty supply stores. So just in case you don't have a car, you need to be able to walk or take a bus, use the college's bus system or the city's bus system to get to a stylist for your hair. Number two, if there are not any stylists in the immediate vicinity, Google the nearest shop and select from there. Excuse me. Number three, tour the residence halls while you are on campus and try to select a hall that has a large utility sink for students to wash their hair. This is very important. When I was living in a residence hall at Northern Illinois University in graduate school, I remember them having a really good utility sink. But another thing you need to consider is it well lit? The utility sink was large enough for me to wash my hair, but it was in a dark basement, and that's not safe. So when you are touring the residence hall, check to see if they have a utility sink. Check the size of the utility sink to make sure that it is good for your use and make sure that it is in a well-lit and safe area so that if you are bending over to wash your hair, you don't have to also watch your back. Or you can select a residence hall that has a kitchen area within it where you can wash your hair there, or a kitchen pod where you and other residents share a pod where you can also wash your hair there. So that's just something for you to consider. Number four, stock up on your hair products while you are at home on breaks, like I did. So you all know what you use on your hair. We all know what we use on our hair and what our favorite products are. So since you know that, go ahead and stock up on those things that you may not be able to get while you are away at school. Now, of course, you all have a benefit that I did not have in college, which is Amazon.com or e-commerce altogether. So you really can get a lot of things shipped to you, but Just in case you don't want to go that route or you can't find what you really like online, go ahead and pick those things up while you are on break and purchase enough to last you quite some time. Number 5, learn to maintain your own hair at least on a basic level. So one of the things that I used to notice about a lot of the young men that I went to college with, they would bring their own razors, their own clippers, their own other shaving products to maintain their look. And then us young women, we did the same exact thing. So I could use those products to maintain my hair on a basic level, and so can you. So go ahead and learn how to do that. Number 6, set aside money to have your hair styled as often as you prefer. So I used to like to get my hair done bi-weekly. And so my mother would send me money so that I can have my hair done bi-weekly. So when your parents send you money, or your family members send you money, or your caregivers send you money, or when you earn your own money, also make sure you put money aside so that you can maintain your hair. Number 7, select a college that has hair services on campus. Now, let me tell you, this is why I love Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida. I have toured more than 100 campuses around the world, 6 continents. Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida is the only campus that I have toured that has a full-blown hair salon and barbershop right on campus. So that is a good reason to choose a college if that is something that's important to you. Now, that doesn't mean that FAMU is the only campus that has that service, but if that is important to you, choose a choose a campus that offers that and make that part of your selection process. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. Number 8, schedule your at-home appointments or schedule appointments with your hometown stylist ahead of time so that you can ensure that you can get in with that stylist when you are at home on breaks. So my stylist at the time, he was very popular, and he also did, I think, my sister's hair, my older sister's hair, as well as my mother's hair. And so when I came home on breaks, I would have to make sure that I was able to get into the shop. And so I would make my appointments ahead of time. But after a while, and after knowing me for so long, he knew, okay, Passion comes home on these breaks, and I need to make sure I have a slot available for her. And he would do that. You can do the same thing. Let your hometown stylist know when your breaks are and make those appointments ahead of time. Number 9, in terms of finding a stylist near your college, ask for recommendations from your college administrators, because more than likely they live locally in that town and they have lived there for quite some time. And so if you see an administrator who has a cute hairstyle or is always having healthy looking hair, ask that person who does their hair, and then ask for them for recommendations, and then make an appointment if that's what you want to do. Number 10, understand that it is okay for you to use your ability to access hair care professionals as part of the college selection process. So I know that when people select a college, they may not think about hair care, but hair care is a big part of Black culture. And you should not be ashamed of that. That is one of the beautiful things about our culture worldwide, not just here for Black Americans, but Black people in the whole diaspora. Our hair is our crown. And so our hair is very important, and hair care is very important. And there is no reason why your hair should have to suffer or your hair care should have to be neglected simply because you are away at college. You can do both. You can be a stellar student and have stellar hair. So when you are writing your college selection checklist, make sure to put hair care down on that checklist as part of your selection process. And remember that whatever college that you select to attend, it is there to serve you. You are the customer. So it should serve you and it should provide you with everything that you need to be successful on that campus or while you are enrolled at that campus. If you are in undergrad, 4 years is a very long time. You basically live there for 4 years. So you should have all of the resources that you need to be healthy and happy. And hair care is part of healthcare, if you ask me. So please consider your hair care when you are selecting a college, and do not allow anyone to make you feel ashamed of doing so. It's very important to our culture, and you should be proud of that. Thank you so much for listening, and please go to college.